Hi, Rodney here, back with you at the ram pump. I've had time to do a couple of modifications and a complete analysis of it. Where the camera's sitting is 12 feet above the pump, and you can see the barn in the background. It's 21 feet from the pump to the floor of the barn. 21 feet. There's a storage tank to the right up there. That's another 5 feet high. I pump into the storage tank or into my water system in the barn. I also water some horses down here and the pigs over here. So I have too much water flow down here at the creek when I'm watering the horses and the pigs. I'm blowing 3,323 gallons a day out of this hose right here at the creek. This hose will reach the pigs or the horses. So I've got 50 feet of hose coming into my water line that goes to the barn. The line is buried 3 feet underground. So there's about 5 feet of vertical pipe there, and then 300 feet of PVC up to the barn. It comes up out of the ground. There's a couple of 90s that takes it over to the water system in the barn. So I'm running through about 7 90s and 300 feet of PVC pipe. I've got 50 feet of hose. That's 350 feet of line. At the barn, at floor level, I'm getting 1,028 gallons a day. At the tank, which is another 5 feet higher, I'm getting 864 gallons a day. I had to put a valve on the pump, which I'll show you. Okay, you can see the valve. I've got 3 valves down there. One valve on the feed pipe, another valve just above the output check valve, and then another valve where my hose comes up to my water system. I had to put that hose on to cut down the water flow up here. I'm getting 3,323 gallons a day out of this 50-foot garden hose. It's just 7 feet above the pump. So when I'm watering the pigs, I've got to cut that flow way back. Here you can see the 50 feet of garden hose I've got laying out here so I can reach the pigs. And there's the pigs. They're on a pressure nipple, but sometimes I just want to lay the hose in there to flood the pen a little bit, so on these hot days they've got some water to cool off in. And that's where my water flow problem is excessive. I only need to flow a couple of 100 gallons a day in there, not 3,000 gallons. A year ago I put this pump down here at the creek. I also buried electricity down here for that pump. I wanted to suck water out of the creek and pump water up to my storage tanks that way, but it proved not feasible. The creek wasn't deep enough and it kept sucking up too much sand plugging the pipes. With this new system, I've completely eliminated that problem altogether. The water's coming through nice and clear. I don't have any sand issues. Got plenty of water at the barn. The update on my ram pump for my water flow at the creek, at that 50-foot hose, I'm getting 2.3 gallons a minute, 3,323 gallons a day. Up at the barn floor, I've got the water line, the PVC line I buried down with electricity a couple of years ago for the pump, is at ground level. It comes into the pump corner of the barn where I have, we don't have a well here. I've collected rainwater for the last 4 years, so I have 3 tanks. I collect in one tank on one eve, another tank on another eve, and then I treat in those tanks and then pump those into a 2,100 gallon tank that we use out of, and we do use it in our house. Very clean. The water is filtered down to 1 micron. Very good water. The problem that we had with water is that it doesn't rain enough that I could store enough to water gardens. That was the real big problem. I've got plenty of water for the pigs. They're on a pressure nipple from the barn, so water to the pigs wasn't a problem. In the hot days like this, I like to flood a little water in there so the ram pump will help with that. On that PVC line where it comes up into the barn, if I measure the flow off of that, I get 1,028 gallons a day, roughly 0.7 gallons a minute. And then if I fill my storage tank, I pump out of it to water the garden. So if I fill my storage tank, I raise the hose up. I have to put a 50-foot hose on it. That makes me pump on a total on the ram pump of 400 feet. I've got 300 feet of PVC, a 50-foot garden hose down at the creek, and another 50-foot hose up here to get into the tank. So that's 400 feet of run, and I'm raising the water 26 feet. When I first made the video, I said 50 feet. I thought that's about how high it was. It was just a guess. I measured that today, and it's 26 feet to the top of the storage tank. Flowing into the storage tank, I'm getting 864 gallons a day, roughly 0.6 gallons a minute, a little over half a gallon a minute, which is a ton of water. It's just it's plenty of water, way more than they need. So our water problems have been cured with the ram pump. Collected rainwater has always been sufficient to water the livestock and to supply us, including the clothes washing and everything we do. We've never run short. I store 5,200 total gallons. We've never had a shortage that way. It's when it comes to water the gardens that we've had the problem. Anyway, that's the analysis on the pump. We're really happy with it.